What's up, guys? How are you? Uh, I'm gonna put some music here while waiting for some of you guys. So I'm just gonna put a song while I'm waiting for you. Then we're gonna talk about the case of Christine Silawan and the similarities between this case and Delphi's case. So just gonna put this song here just to wait for you guys, and then we're gonna go with the with the
Got to
live.
get the goods. Got to get them good. Let's go. Still we run away from everyone. I need a place to stay. Cover up my face. Don't cry. So I am just afraid. I am just afraid. I am just afraid. I am just afraid. Filled with parasites, black holes cover up my eyes. I dream of you almost every night. Hopefully, I won't wake up this time. 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 Every time I think of you, I scream aloud. Fuck that filthy horse! I love you and fall through. You didn't have the balls. Like a hundred from standing there, looking like some fool. I know you, I think of you. I am just afraid. 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 That was a good one. That was sad.
What's up, guys? Thank you for being here. Hello, Simdal. How are you, man? Happy to have you here again. Today, this is gonna be a quick live here. I want to talk about the case of Christina. Just let me see, Christina Silawan. And I find this case very interesting. I think that there are some similarities with Delphi's. I'm happy you're doing well, Simdal. And I want to know your opinion about that. In my previous lives, we were talking about some details of the crime scene and the trauma that was inflicted in Libby's face. So, to me, that kind of injury can give us some kind of clues about the motivation of the killer. Um, uh, and in this case that I'm gonna talk about, you're gonna see there are a lot of similarities, and maybe we can discuss deep after showing the video. So no more protocol. I'm gonna put the video right now. Just give me 1 second here. Having a little bit of trouble with my what's going on, man. Okay, I know what's going on. By the way, is my sound good, Simdal? So I'm gonna run the video and
show back up a couple hours later, her mother began to worry. The police were eventually contacted and the search for Christine began, but it didn't last long.
I'm sorry. The first minute I didn't put the video, so I'm gonna repeat from the beginning. Sorry for that, guys. But it's better to have the whole video on screen. So I'm gonna repeat that.
As it turns out, the victim, 16-year-old Christine Silawan, was found dead in exactly that state. And while this case is technically legally closed, not everyone is satisfied or convinced that true justice has been served. To explain why, we'll first have to start from the beginning. The story of Christine Silawan's death starts in March of 2019 in Mactan, Cebu, Central Philippines. At the time, Christine was in high school and worked at a local church. According to her family, on the day Christine disappeared, it was late afternoon, and she was on her way there. Normally, she would only be at the church for the duration of the service, so when Christine didn't show back up a couple hours later, her mother began to worry. The police were eventually contacted, and the search for Christine began. But it didn't last long. The next day, the half-naked body of what appeared to be a young woman was found in an empty lot, not far from where Christine lived. The body had been mutilated, with half of the face having been removed, but even with its extensive damage, it took no time at all to connect the dots. Christine's family positively identified her shortly thereafter. Now, it goes without saying that this news shocked the community, not just in Mactan, but also nationally. The entire country was mortified by the brutality of this crime and wanted answers, but above anything, they wanted justice. To many, what happened here was clear as day. Christine had been sexually assaulted, killed, and then dumped. But not everyone agreed. In the early days of this case, authorities claimed that there was no proof that Christine had been raped. And as you can imagine, no one was buying this. After all, Christine's body had been naked from the waist down. Another point of contention was Christine's face. Many questioned what the point of skinning her was, with some pointing out that this might be some kind of ritual, or perhaps the result of drug use on the part of the attacker. This was all yet to be figured out, but police already felt like they had some leads. They acquired CCTV footage of Christine and claimed that they were looking for 3 potential suspects, all male. And by the time this case wrapped up, 3 would be brought in. The first man was named Jonas Bueno, who was actually already on the run due to a completely different murder. Bueno was partially responsible for the killing and skinning of a 62-year-old male. But by the time police finally caught up with him, he was living under an alias on a completely different island. He confessed to the man's death, but insisted that there was no way that he could have been connected to Christine's murder due to a conflict in the timeline, and this turned out to be true. His alibi was later corroborated by an employer who had placed him on a job site on the day Christine was killed. The second suspect is one that remains controversial to this very day. Believed to have been ID'd on CCTV footage was a teenage boy who had previously had a romantic relationship with Christine. The two had supposedly gone through a breakup just a couple days before, and to many it was all too obvious. He had to be the killer, jealous of Christine for moving on. The boy's family, on the other hand, disagreed. According to them, the ex could not have been responsible because he was with them on the night Christine was murdered, but not many people cared for their claim. For weeks, it seemed as though the police had caught their perp. But then, a bizarre turn. About a month following the arrest of Christine's ex, 43-year-old Renato Yanez was taken into custody for a completely different charge, and while at the station, he told police that he had something weighing down on his mind. It was then that Yanez supposedly broke down out of guilt and confessed to killing and skinning Christine. He claimed to have been a catfish who lured her in under a false online identity. The two were meant to meet up that night, and while reports of what happened during their meeting vary slightly, in the end, Christine would reject this man, and in response, he would escalate the situation to the point of murder, something that he blamed.
So at this point, we have a teenager that was missing at the beginning, like in Delphi's case. We have a bad trauma on the girl's face, which is apparently the case in Libby's situation. We have a catfishing situation. We have a video of the potential perpetrator, and we're gonna see more similarities. This video is really interesting. It's very short, so let's continue with this.
On being under the influence of drugs. In detailing his crime, Yanez claimed to have attempted to sexually assault Christine, but says that he failed. He also confessed to using a pair of scissors to skin Christine's face in an attempt to prevent her from being ID'd. Once the news of this man's arrest went public, police were convinced that the case was closed. Christine's ex was released shortly after due to a legal technicality. As it turns out, he'd been arrested without a warrant, but by all accounts, the cops didn't seem too concerned with him by this point anyway.
Again, we're talking about a warrant that was not properly issued. And in Delphi's too, we know that there are some information that was not presented to the judge prior to ask for the issuance of the warrant. Anyway, let's continue with the video.
Yanez himself even pleaded for the boy to be released because he supposedly did not want him taking the blame for a crime he did not commit. According to the man, he worked completely alone. With that, the case was legally closed, but things did not exactly end with a neat bow on top. Like I just mentioned, Yanez claimed that 1, he did not rape Christine, and 2, that he had worked alone. But during a second autopsy conducted by the public attorney's office in April of that same year, this could not have been true. While the initial autopsy found no signs of sexual assault, the second found both abrasions and bruising that would lead the medical examiner to conclude that Christine had indeed been raped. The medical examiner also added that acid had been used to help remove the skin of the face. And on top of this, he also claims that a minimum of 3 people had to be involved. Again, it was 3 people of interest that the police were.
I'm gonna interrupt again. So that's really interesting. We don't know anything about the autopsy. Well, we know some details that were presented in the warrant and also in the Frank's memorandum, but we don't know the totality of the information about the autopsy. So one of the things that my guest Dan was telling us about the crime scene in the previous videos was that according to him, the skin of Libby was like peeled off from her face, which is the same situation that we are looking here in this video. And according to the medical division or to the doctor, that type of trauma, at least in that case in Philippines, indicated that the crime was committed by several perpetrators. So another similarity at the beginning, everybody was like talking about just one perpetrators, and then they're now talking about multiple actors. So that's interesting to me. Let's continue.
were initially looking for, but one got ruled out and the other was let off the hook due to poor police work. One way or another, the number 3 comes up time and time again in this case, and while I'm not sure how the medical examiner concluded that 3 people were involved, the idea stuck nonetheless. Still, Yanis remained adamant about him being the only person involved, and if it wasn't true, then why bother covering up for other people at all? It doesn't seem like something that anyone would lie about, but at the same time, we know there's
Sorry, another interruption here. Just to answer to Kelt, I talked to some people that already saw the pictures, and they seem to confirm the dance information. So apparently, I think that that's correct. So that's what I can tell you right now. Anyway, again, we don't know the details of the autopsy. We have only some pieces of information from the documents that were released, but I think there's more there. And actually, I believe the Dan's information about what he saw. Now, does he have the actual images, or were that images or that pictures altered and sent to him? That I don't know. I don't know what was the source of the pictures, but other people that saw the same pictures, they seem to corroborate his theory. I'm gonna come back just a little bit to keep the flow of the video I'm presenting here. It's just like 7 minutes, so it's 4 minutes more. What do you think about the video? Is it interesting, or let me know in the comment section. Kelt, I'm surprised all the others that saw the pics never said anything. By the way, this is a very interesting story you are sharing. Thank you, Kelt. Yeah, me too. I'm surprised. I think that the possibility is that the details are so gross that they don't want to be like a sensationalist about it. That's why they don't want to talk about that. You know that every single thing we say in this case is very sensitive. You're gonna be like criticized, and you have to have a lot of tact. So that's my guess. I think that maybe they were trying to be like delicate with that information. The one who was maybe talking a little bit about that was Art of Deduction, who is not one of my favorites, but he had some information. I was watching his video at the time, and I remember that he said something about Libby being punched on the nose. So, but he didn't go further than that. Well, he was talking about other stuff, but anyway, deja vu. Why would anyone think they couldn't be identified? Good question. What do you think? Kelt, thank you for explaining that. But it's just my guess. I'm not sure I'm right about that. Simdal, if I recall, the leaker committed suicide, and they appeared on a Patreon as well. It pretty much became radioactive after that. Yeah, 100%. Kelt, yeah, Art mentioned the nose. Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna come back to the video, and please continue with your messages and your text in the comment sections, guys. That help us to be more dynamic here, and I appreciate your input and your comments.
And taking the blame for a crime he did not commit. According to the man, he worked completely alone. With that, the case was legally closed, but things did not exactly end with a neat bow on top. Like I just mentioned, Yannis claimed that 1, he did not rape Christine, and 2, that he had worked alone. But during a second autopsy conducted by the public attorney's office in April of that same year, this could not have been true. While the initial autopsy found no signs of sexual assault, the second found both abrasions and bruising that would lead the medical examiner to conclude that Christine had indeed been raped. The medical examiner also added that acid had been used to help remove the skin of the face. And on top of this, he also claims that a minimum of 3 people had to be involved. Again, it was 3 people of interest that the police were initially looking for, but one got ruled out and the other was let off the hook due to poor police work. One way or another, the number 3 comes up time and time again in this case, and while I'm not sure how the medical examiner concluded that 3 people were involved, the idea stuck nonetheless. Still, Yannis remained adamant about him being the only person involved, and if it wasn't true, then why bother covering up for other people at all? It doesn't seem like something that anyone would lie about, but at the same time, we know there's a very, very high chance that this man is lying about sexually assaulting Christine, and as such should not be taken at face value anyway. The thing is, though, if he did lie, then he took his secrets to the grave with him, because in May of 2020, Yannis was found dead in his cell, believed to have taken his own life. In the
Again, another similarity here. So the guy committed suicide. So a lot of information went to the grave with this guy, and we know that there's a lot of talking about Richard Allen being suicidal, and I really don't want Richard Allen committing suicide, because we are not gonna get justice after that. So I hope they're really protecting this guy. I don't want this guy being injured, attacked by other person, or just committing suicide, because we need him. We need him to what? To have his version of the story, and to see if he was the only perpetrator here, or if there were more person involved, or if he's innocent. We don't know. I think he's involved, as I always say. And you know, why do I think so? Do I think that? But anyways, again, another
Yeah.
another similarity here. So let's continue. I'm gonna come back. What do you say, Carl Cryptex? My comment on your screen is blocking people's view. Okay. Sorry for that. It's too big or what? I don't know.
If it wasn't true, then why bother covering up for other people at all? It doesn't seem like something that anyone would lie about. But at the same time, we know there's a very, very high chance that this man is lying about sexually assaulting Christine, and as such should not be taken at face value anyway. The thing is, though, if he did lie, then he took his secrets to the grave with him, because in May of 2020, Yannis was found dead in his cell, believed to have taken his own life. In the end, people were only left to hope that the cops got the whole story, but many believe that Christine's ex still could have been involved based on the remarks from the medical examiner and his apparent sighting on CCTV footage. As things stand right now, however, since Christine's case was officially closed, it doesn't seem as though any further digging will be done, even if to many, not everything adds up. This video was edited by Darkfire Productions, researched by Lux Noctis, and written by yours truly. As always, I'd like to thank every single one of my lovely supporters, but especially the following people: T. Gorman, Connor H, Base of Shadow, WH, Sean the CHB, AJ Runaway, Amelia J, Andrew L, Anthony Astro, Bloody the Elf, Brandon F, Catherine L, Corky Barks, Daniel G, David G.
So that was the video, guys. I think that case is really interesting. The way the girl was killed, I think, is similar to the way Libby was killed. Of course, there was only one girl in that case, not two like in Delphi. So I don't know, guy. I just wanted to put this video to start some kind of discussion here, and to see what do you think. it's something that could help us to understand the motivation of the killer in Delphi's case, or not at all. What do you think? Anyone? Anyway, as Simdal says there's a lot of parallels. Agree, 100%. A lot. So maybe I'm gonna go deeper in this case. We could have something interesting looking into that case. Simdal again. It happens more often than you think. They will admit to murder, but not the SA. What is the SA? Because that would be ridiculous. What is SA, Simdal? I don't know. Killed. Simdal, right. Like the rape is worse than the more sexual attack. Okay, yeah, sexual assault. Okay, yeah. So coming back to your comment, they will admit to murder, but not to the sexual assault, because that would be ridiculous. Okay, good point. And I was thinking at the same time, one of my theories at the beginning of the Delphi's case was that what the information we have is that the girls were not physically raped. Apparently, there was no sexual attack. Sexual motivation is another thing. We all know that. But apparently, there was no sexual attack in the case of Abby and Libby. And one of my theories or my hypothesis at the time was that I think the perpetrator actually wanted to rape the girls, but he couldn't perform, and because of that, he became angry, and that was the trigger of the murders. And now that I see like the brutality of actually happened, I think that's not crazy. Maybe that was his intention, but he couldn't perform. That triggered a lot of rage, and that's why he killed the girls. At least Abby in that way. I don't know. What do you think? Kurt, Simdal, right? Like the rape is worse than the murder in their minds. Yeah, that's a good point. It's very psychological. Simdal, one being naked could be part of the staging. Can you elaborate about that? Yeah, the staging and the moving thing is really mind-blowing. It's freaking crazy. And we have also big fish, small pond. Hello, man. Thank you for showing up. I don't know if you could see the video we just played. That is the material for the discussion we are having right now. So I don't know if you could see it. If not, please check it in a replay mode or something like that. It says, I think both were naked at one time. Only Abby was redressed in some of Libby's clothes, which I think she did herself because it would be hard to dress a deceased body. But yeah, that's a good question. We don't know. For sure, they were naked, both of them, at one point. I agree with you. Now the redressing thing was the killer, was Abby, and how was that situation? Was the killer ordering Abby to redress herself, or it was like spontaneous, something spontaneously made by Abby, or was the killer the one who redressed Abby, and why? The question is why. I don't have any idea, and I would like to know. I think a lot about that, and the usual answers everybody says is just to distract the authorities, to shock to generate some kind of shock to the authorities, law enforcement, or the I don't know. I don't buy that, but could be. I don't know. Simdal, very true. I think there is a sexual component, but considering the sticks and such, it could be part of the theater as well. It could be part of that. And coming back to the sticks, man, that was not random. Just like the asterisk is perfect. To me, it's impossible to just to throw sticks on the girls and to form this asterisk. Forget about it. I don't buy that. To me, it was really something that was not random. He wanted to make that figure to signify why. I don't know. Good question, but it wasn't random. I'm not saying it was Odinist, but there's a symbology there, and what does it mean? That I don't know, but it's a symbol or a signature, in my opinion. In this case, Kurt, if the clothes were wet, it would be very hard for someone to even redress themselves. If they were wet, were they wet? That's a good point. I don't know. The official narrative or the popular narrative is that they crossed the creek, and I'm not 100% convinced about it. I don't know. What do you think, guys, about that? But I don't know. I'm like 50-50 in that part. Big Fish, Abby had 2 bras. Did she also have 2 pants, etc.? Good point. Good question, man. Deja vu. They were placed there. That's only the end result of the original crime. Yeah, they were placed there in that position with that configuration of sticks on them, which is again is not random in my opinion at all. And to me, there's a symbology. I'm not saying it's Odinism, but there's some kind of symbology or signification, some kind of signature there. In my opinion, that's clear. Kurt, Simdal, exactly. Someone who even read a book, saw a movie, knows someone who believes in that Odin stuff, could have thought it would be something to do. Having trouble explaining that, though. Yeah, I don't disregard that, but the more I think about this case, the more I disregard the Odinism theory, and that type of symbology to me is different. It's another thing. I don't know what. I break my brain every single day thinking about it because I'm obsessed with this case. But yeah, there's some kind of symbology there. Simdal, yes, cult is confusing. And I don't want to be repetitive, but again, I'm coming back with my speech, and I profit to invite you guys to watch the video I made when I was in Colombia during my recent trip, where I met by luck an Odinist there in Colombia. He doesn't know anything about this case. I showed him the representation of the crime scene, and to him, it's not Odinism. He couldn't recognize any rune, any composite rune. So that just confirmed a little bit to me that was not the scenario here. Kelt, I have to go to the Franks. I have to go back to the Franks, but I think she had a shirt, the swim team sweatshirt and James. Abby, yes. Abby had the swim team sweatshirt and jeans. Exactly, you're right. Annalise, we lack a lot of small details in Delphi. Was clothing wet? Yeah, exactly. That was my comment just a couple of minutes about before. Feet muddy? Was Abby wearing her shoes? And we know almost nothing about the post-mortems. Exactly. That was my point too, and that was the purpose of this video today. Because I don't know if for you that you knew about the brutality that Abby, sorry, that Libby suffered in her face, but to me that was new, and because of that, I'm thinking differently right now about this crime, and I think that we were not working, we are not working with important and relevant information here, as you say. We lack a lot of small details, and everything is in the details. Everything is in the small details, and we don't have those details. You're 100% right. Kelt, for years the river crossing was sold as the way it happened. How else did they get from the south end of the bridge? Exactly, that's the official or the popular narrative. I agree. We don't know. It seems that Annalise said true. We only have the witness claiming someone being muddy. Exactly. That's a good point. It seems that well, Annalise said yesterday, attorney John Ray presented deviant artwork he claimed was done by the Lisk suspect's daughter. One picture looked kind of Nordic. A victim posed upon deer antlers, maybe just a, yeah, I saw that. That is freaking crazy. You're right, Annalise. That case is crazy. But my question for you, because I don't know, did she paint? Did she make the paintings after his father was arrested or before? So what I mean is, when she was painting those crazy drawings, was his father already arrested or not? Because that's very important. If she painted that before the arrest of his father, to me she's involved, or at least she knew some information about those murders. That's freaking crazy. I don't know, guys, if you saw that interview, but it blows your mind. It's freaking crazy. Kelt still could be someone who claims they are Odinist. Is their own personal understanding of Odin, not ours. That's a good point too. Not books or movies. Those sticks meant something to the killer, 100%. 100%. Sindel, Colombian Odinist, the most random thing that ever happened. Yeah, man, that was so crazy, and I couldn't believe it even myself. So when I saw this guy with his table, and I saw the runes, and I read the oracle for you. Actually, he did a reading of the oracle, the Odinist oracle for me, and it's crazy. That's another story for another day. So that's why I took advantage to ask him about his opinion about the crime scene. What do you think of Brad Holder Facebook photo? Amber Holder seems to have knowledge of the poses that she was or is willing to. Yeah, no, I know. There's a lot of interesting stuff there, and I know the Elvis Field thing is crazy, and I repeat again, I want to have those guys interviewed again. It makes me mad the fact that a lot of interviews, or the initial interviews, were just destroyed by accident, which I don't buy. There's something weird there. I don't know what. You're right, and that it's not acceptable, man. And again, was that incompetence or corruption? Hard to say, but yeah, it makes me mad. That's unacceptable. And Ali said, Abby was wearing Libby's jacket, hoodie, over Abby's shirt and two bras. Libby's pants, two bras could have been for a number of reasons chosen by Abby herself. Yeah, good point. Simdal, that is from a movie, I think. She's not the originator of that antler peak. Only some were her artwork. Ah, really? I don't know. So, okay, that's interesting. Because my understanding was that the girl was painting like representation of what already happened in the murders of committed by her father. I have to go back to check that. As okay, good point, Simdak. Thank you for that. Kelt, I really wonder if those searches were hers, or could her father have been using her account, Lisk? Again, I don't have enough information. I just saw the interview made by this guy. I don't remember his name, but yeah, maybe we should do a video about that. It's going to be really interesting for all of us. And then there's a parallel with the Facebook pictures of Brad Holder, actually. And he said, allegedly, the artwork was done before the arrest. Oh, that's crazy. Whether or not she did them, it's a style called cartoon porn. Yeah, I think it's like a hentai Japanese porn or something like that. But the graphics were very, at one point when I was looking into the clients, I don't know if you remember, but one of the how can I say that? The names he was using online was "The Master is Here." So I was looking in internet to see just if Google was able to give me something related to that name. "The Master is Here," and one of the searches gave me a hentai porn site, and there were weird, brutal things that at the point I was trying to correlate with Delphi's case, but I don't know. But now that you are talking about that, the cartoon porn, that just came back to my mind. Seemed that it was a collection of things she liked, shared, and some of her original works. And I said, my basic point on the Deviant artwork is it is something that is out there, not necessarily Odinist. Creeps could copy the style without any bigger reasons. Good point. Kelt, Holy Cow. Agree. Simdal, it was mostly war, a cannibal subculture. Very disturbing stuff. Don't go down that rabbit hole. Yeah, but don't you think that this is really coincident that she was painting that kind of stuff, and just by luck, she was the daughter of the Lisk, the Long Island serial killer. There's something there. I don't know, man. This is a big coincidence. And okay, you say don't go down that rabbit hole, but I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole. And one possibility is that she knew or she had some information. I'm not saying she was helping his father. I'm not saying that, but maybe she knew something, man. I don't know. I remember this show Hannibal, something similar to that story. There are a number of reasons why a woman might choose to wear two bras. Why? Can you say why? And I said I really don't know why. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but just what would be the one of those reasons? Just if we can know. If no, it's okay. No problem. Kelt, I don't even want to know people like that exist. Simdal, some trauma there, no doubt. 100%. So, guys, I would like to have your comments about the video we played today. If you have some thinking about that, keep it in the comment section. Hit the like again. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I think I'm gonna finish here. If you don't have any other question or any other comment in the chat, I didn't want to be here too long. So thank you again to all of you. I'm gonna pass to every single of you guys to say bye-bye. Simdal, again, thank you for being here, man. I don't know what time is right now in Netherlands, but I think it's really late there. Thank you, man. Kelt, thank you for being here. Annalise, always very interesting your comments. Quietly concerned. I don't remember you before, but I'm happy you're here. A big fish, small pond. Thank you, man. Or girl. I don't know. Most of my viewers are girls. Deja vu, always a pleasure. And I don't think I see any other person here in the chat. So thank you, guys. Keep in touch. Kel, thank you. Cryptex, it's nice to see your face. Yeah. Thank you for that. See you guys. Have a nice weekend. Okay. Nice Thai Crip midnight. Oh yeah, I'm going to a concert of it's a tribute to Green Day and Offspring. So I'm trying to be in that mood for the concert later, and that's why. Okay, before leaving, Annalise said that's interesting. Wearing two bras can have to do with support. Lots of us wear sport bras and they give one kind of support but no other support. So sometimes two styles work well together. Okay, understand your point. Thanks for that information. Okay, see you guys. Have a nice weekend, okay? See you next time.